8static's been a show that I've been going to for a couple of years now. It's been sort of the de facto, like the big show in Philadelphia on a monthly basis.
And it started just with a group of connections of people really trying to support the idea because everybody really liked it. Everybody was like, this should be in Philadelphia.
I first found out about it through a friend of mine in college who listened to a lot of video game music. And he listened to a lot of video game covers. And I thought that was cool, but it didn't really interest me that much because I thought like, hey, it's cool that you're covering like the Tetris theme. It'd be cooler if like it had the original sounds. I didn't realize that people were actually doing original music with this type of sound palette. This is what I use to make music. This is my instrument. This is just a regular old Game Boy, nothing too special. But the thing is that it uses the internal sound chip of the Game Boy, and that's why chiptune is called chiptune, because it actually has to use the sound chip in the Game Boy. And the reason why that's so specific is because each console has its own limitations.
Well, what I think drove me to it in the beginning was the idea that you could recycle a toy. You don't need to buy really fancy equipment to do what you want to do musically.
We're Children. We're gonna play some songs.
We met at NYU because we were in the same program, and we were like, well, I used 2 Game Boys for each one of my tracks. You can sync them with. What if we use 4 Game Boys? You know what I mean? At the same time, like maybe we could get some really, really cool sounds out of it.
Tate was very focused on using 2 Game Boys and kind of just layering stuff on and being as liberal as he wanted as far as composing music, whereas I usually tried to sticking to 1 Game Boy as much as I could, working within the limitations of that system, but pushing it as hard as I could. By collaborating, we kind of need to come to some kind of medium where we're not doing too much, but we're not doing too little.
I definitely feel like Philly is a place where people like to share with each other. A lot of us use the same instruments, and it's not one of those scenes where if somebody has a really nice amp and a really nice guitar, they're guaranteed to sound better than you. 5 guys using a Game Boy, they're all going to be working with the same stuff, basically. So it's a great equalizer in that sense.
Also, thank you again to Betsy Adams back there.
There's not just the music, there's actually the visuals that go along with it too. That's sort of, for me at least, and I feel like the Philly scene, it's something that we don't want to ever separate.
I like the challenge of coding for the console because I'm doing the same stuff the original designers did. I'm going through all the labor, except I'm not coding game logic. I'm not messing with the sound. But it's legit, and it runs on a real console. And then the fact that I can bring it out and have it appreciated is so cool. And people are like, "That's a Genesis?"
I think ultimately chip music will be bigger than rock and roll. I mean, everybody needs art. Life is not worth living if there's no art. You can have technology and art in one, and I feel like, for me, that's almost like sci-fi future stuff.
You can do literally anything that you can think of, you can put in. I know it sounds really cheesy, but it's whatever you really want to make with chip music you can.
Never have I seen a more supportive audience. Always everybody's like on their side.
I absolutely believe chip is on the rise. There's more and more artists than ever making this stuff. There's more and more monthly shows popping up around the nation and internationally, and there's more people who are learning to create this stuff. I do think we're going to keep on getting bigger, and we're going to see things changing rapidly. I don't know what to expect, but bring it on.